Hello everyone, today I want to talk to you about how to prune native plant shrubs that bloom on new wood. Welcome to my YouTube channel, 90% Native. My name is Michelle and I grow native plants and I garden for the wildlife. When you're talking about pruning native shrubs, you need to know whether they are classified as flowering on old wood or flowering on new wood. Right now is absolutely not the time that you want to be pruning native plant shrubs that bloom on old wood. Shrubs that bloom on old wood are ones that set their flower buds 9 months to a year ago on existing stems, or wood as is referred to in the naming convention. So if you pruned your shrubs right now that bloom on old wood, you would lose all of your flowers for this season. A lot of times you can tell a plant is I tell a plant blooms on old wood or new wood based on when it blooms. So native shrubs that bloom in the very early spring, those are probably shrubs that bloom on old wood, and then shrubs that bloom later in the season are probably shrubs that bloom on new wood. However, I would definitely caution you to make sure that you go on the internet and verify the way to prune specific shrubs if you are unsure. Okay, so the shrubs that we're going to talk about pruning today are shrubs that bloom on new wood. And that means that the shrubs are going to flower on growth that is from the current season. So it is the end of February and the end of winter, and that is the time that you want to prune your shrubs that bloom on new wood. So we're going to be pruning those shrubs back right now, and then coming up here soon they're going to start growing again, and then you'll get the blooms that are on the new wood. I am going to prune 3 different types of shrubs today that bloom on new wood, and those would be HYPERICUM prolificum or shrubby St. John's wort, and then we have New Jersey tea, and I'll put the Latin name up on the screen. And then the final shrub that I just want to mention is smooth hydrangea, and smooth or wild hydrangea actually, and I would prune the smooth hydrangea this year, but my plants are just little seedlings, so there's no pruning that I need to do on them this year. Ordinarily, if I had more mature smooth hydrangea plants, I would cut those about 6 inches from the ground, but because my plants are just little seedlings this year, I'll be waiting for future years to do that, and then I will do that every year, because with the smooth hydrangea, if you prune it back to the about 6 inches from the ground, the stems will be very nice and sturdy for you the following year, and it won't get as big as it would if you let it grow wild. First up, we have New Jersey tea. New Jersey tea is just deer candy for deer. So I can't really plant it out in my landscape, so I have it growing in 2 pots on my deck. And New Jersey tea is a native plant shrub that only gets to be about 3 feet tall, blooms on new wood. So I can cut this thing back to about 6 inches from the soil line. You can really regeneratively prune New Jersey tea every year if you wanted. That just means taking it all the way back to the ground. But basically 6 inches from the ground is, I would consider, a regenerative prune anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that on both of my New Jersey teas on the deck. I think it's a bit hard to see in the video, but right here is the New Jersey tea, and I'm going to prune that all the way back to the ground, which is a regenerative prune and something that New Jersey teas can handle. And then if I take you over here, you can see that I've already done one that looked almost identical to the other one. So now I am going to take this one all the way back. Okay, so there we go. This one has been pruned back to the ground as well. And so these will grow new stems and the flowers will come on those new stems. Okay, next up are my shrubby St. John's wort, or my HYPERICUM prolificum, and here they are. I have a hedge of them in front of my cutting garden. So let me step back a little bit to show you. Okay. With the shrubby St. John's wort, or the HYPERICUM prolificums, they say to prune them back about 50 to 75%. I think I probably do more like 80%. They can get to 3 to 5 feet tall, and I like to keep them on the smaller side. So let me show you what I do. So first I'm going to go in with some of these trimmers and just get some height off so I can see inside the bush. Okay, let me pull some of these leaves out of here. So at this point, you could leave this bush as it is now and call that done. I like to take it back a lot further, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. At this point, I'm getting the loppers, and I am going to go back in the bush and find out where it branches out. Like, I don't know if you can see this right here is where this particular branch branches out. So I'm going to cut back behind that. And I'm going to go do that like all the way around. And you kind of got to get in there. And it's okay if you take too much off, it'll grow back. Remember, this is a bush that blooms on new wood. Here's an example of where I'm talking about cutting. See, this is where the stems branch out, and I cut right below there. That is a little, probably shorter than I was planning, but it looks like maybe last year I missed some of these really big branches to cut back. So I cut it back a little more than I was thinking I would. So it is such a beautiful day. I decided to go ahead and clean up this border now. It's going to be like 80 degrees in Virginia. So anyway, I pulled out some of the leaves, not all of them, and I'll put them in the compost or let them sit for a little while for the insects to get out. And then I just came in and took my edging shovel right here and just quickly did this edge right down there, and I just put all the dirt from the edge behind it because it's really good soil now, because I have been putting wood chips down for so long that the soil and the wood chips have kind of decomposed together. So really good soil to almost, you know, fertilize the HYPERICUM bushes here. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some wood chip down and get it all nice and mulched up. And this will be actually my first spring cleanup project, and just a quick detour from the original intent of the video, which was pruning native plant shrubs that bloom on new wood. Okay, I'll show you all the finished product. So this project is now done. I put the wood chip over top of the ground, and I have my Carex amphibola. This is a little woodland phlox. I have Agastache back there. Here are my HYPERICUM prolificums. It's hard to see with all the brown. And then in front of that, I have Carex amphibola. So what's gonna happen is I cut back the Carex amphibola almost, I don't know, an inch or two from the ground. And so that's gonna grow up and get nice and green while the shrubby St. John worts get going for the season. And then the same thing down here. I do have some bearded irises, and just so you can see here, I did not cover those with mulch, because those, oh, I can't remember what they are at the top of my head, corms, want to be baked in the sun. So here's just another look at this first spring project, done a little earlier than what I normally do. But since it was just an edge, I figured I'd go ahead and take care of it, since I was taking back those shrubby St. John's wort anyway. Guys, there was one other shrub that blooms on new wood that I was giving a little prune to today, and that is the winterberry. So I wanted to make sure and mention that. I have dwarf winterberries up front, so I went ahead and just cut them back a little bit to encourage them to bush out a little and to control the height, since they are a formal front yard shrub. And that is all for today. Just pruning native plant shrubs that bloom on new wood. You want to do that at the end of winter or early spring. That's what I did today. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Happy gardening, and I will catch you again next time.